everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Megan Hall. I am the admin assistant and podcast consultant um, for Create Captivate. In case, man, live videos are always delayed. I'm like, did you hear that? Yes. My name is Megan Hall. I'm the admin assistant and podcast consultant for Create Captivate. And I am the only employee for Create Captivate currently that does not live where we're located, which is in Norfolk, Virginia. So I'm here to give you some tips on working from home because that's basically the only place I can work. I can't go to the office. I can't do any of those things. I mean, I guess I could go to Starbucks, but I choose to work from home, especially right now because I'm a mom and my kids are on summer break. So it makes things a little more dicey. And of course, as most parents out there know, and most people out there know, kids were virtual for school for like many months. So working from home really worked for me. I'm going to share my top 5 tips, and some of these come from I used to, in another lifetime, be a women's empowerment coach, and I used to teach my clients about time management. And so that helps me as somebody who works from home. My first tip, so important, even if you're not working from home, is turn off the unnecessary notifications. Every time your phone dings, every time there's a banner that pops up, all of those things, they're distractions. And our brains are not built for all these dings and banners and all those things. We have, our brains are like caveman brains, not really. I mean, but they haven't adapted to all this technology. And so what happens is when a notification goes off in the back of your brain, even if you don't answer it, especially if you don't answer it, it's like emergency, emergency, emergency. And you can ignore that, but it's still going off in the back of your brain. That's why a lot of times when we ignore a notification, a text, or whatever, it'll consistently come up. You're like, oh yeah, I gotta respond to that. Oh yeah. After a while, we forget. But in the near future, like in the immediate future, it's gonna be an emergency in the back of your brain. It's going to be distracting. You don't want to be distracted. So our team uses Voxer, which is like a walkie-talkie app to communicate. And it was very distracting to me when I was not in my work time and I was in my family time. And the great thing about Create Captivate is we all have different availabilities, and I would get distracted and feel like I have to listen, I have to respond. So I turned off all those things except for the times that are my work times. Otherwise, I don't hear the dings. I don't hear the notifications. They're great. It's glorious. So turn off all the banners and the dings and whatever. Do you really need a notification from Facebook while you're at work? I mean, you can put on limitations for those apps. But like I have an app, I have an iPhone, and you can set app limitations where certain apps shut off during certain times. So during work hours, Facebook, Instagram, all those I can't access them unless I give myself permission in a way, but I just don't. So shut off all those notifications. They're distracting. If you don't need them, don't have them on. You can definitely go and check those things throughout the workday if you need to, if you feel the need. So the next thing is find a space that can be dedicated to work. This is important because when you're working from home, it's easy to be distracted. If I'm working in my living room, I'll be distracted by the TV. If somebody's in there watching TV, sometimes I work outside, so I break this because I live in the middle of nowhere and it's great and it's really pretty. But mostly, I work in my office, which you can see. I can close the door. My office is nice. You do want it to be a place that you actually like working in. You don't want to sit in there and be like, oh, gross, I hate this place, because that'll be distracting too. But if you don't have a dedicated work zone, you will be distracted by all the different things going on. And sometimes you need a break. Maybe go to the library, maybe go to Starbucks, maybe you go to like a cute little local coffee shop to go there. I mean, sometimes we need a break from our surroundings, but have a dedicated workspace that you can go and you can get down to work. If you hate it, again, it'll be you'll be too distracted to work. Mine has all these fun things that don't distract me, but they make my workspace really nice to work in. Set specific work times and stick to it. I know entrepreneurs are gonna hate me for saying that. It's important to have space between your personal time and your work time. One, because if you don't, that can lead to burnout, that can lead to overwhelm. Uh, I learned this the hard way as an entrepreneur, where I was working all the time, and my husband was like, Meg, like you literally are not spending time with the family because you're constantly on your phone checking emails, you're checking in with your clients, you're doing all these things. So it can actually impact your relationships with other people if all you're doing is working. But also, if you have a dedicated work time, that means that's a time that you can focus on work and you're not distracted by all of the things going on. So don't impact your relationships, don't impact your work, and set dedicated work times. This is also boundaries for your clients, for your coworkers. My cat's a coworker, if you could see her back there. And for your boss, for all these people, you want to be able to have a dedicated work time. I have a dedicated work time. It's well known when I'm able to work, and that's going to change in the fall because I'm actually going into a master's program. So yes, set expectations and boundaries for the people you're working with, so they know, and so they know that you're not available during certain times. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. So the next thing is, remember, you don't have to respond to everything immediately. We always think when we're working that everything's emergent, but it's not. That email, it can go a couple hours without a response. Heck, it could probably go a day without a response. Some people don't respond for a whole dang week. So I think you're good if you go a day without responding. But also, you don't have to answer every text message, every call immediately. If you're in the middle of doing something, if you have a task that you need to complete, don't feel like everything's emergent. Because if you feel like you have to respond to everything immediately, you're not going to be productive. You're not going to get the things done that you need to. And finally, take regular breaks. I am guilty of this, where I will sit down and I will work, and not give myself a break. And that is just not healthy. One, for our body, we need to get up and move around. But two, I mean, you have like things you need to take care of. Like, I'm not going to go into it, but have a regular break. When I used to do research on this, I've heard work 45 minutes and then take a 15-minute break, or work 90 minutes, take a 10-minute break. One of the common denominators is it takes up to 30 minutes to get into a workflow. So if you're only working for like 15 minutes and then you're taking a break, you may not be able to get into that workflow. That's also why those dings and notifications need to be shut off, because they actually distract you and then you have to get back into it and it takes another 30 minutes. So yeah, work at least 30 minutes, take up to 2 hours, but don't go over 2 hours. And the breaks are like, 10 to 15 minutes, unless it's your lunch break. Obviously, I don't want you like shoving food down your throat in 10 minutes. You need a lunch break. But generally, some people use the Pomodoro technique, which I wouldn't recommend because it's only working like 20 minutes at a time and then taking like a 10-minute break. And I just feel like you're not having enough time to get into the workflow. But if you want to, look it up, Pomodoro. Oh, there's a lot of O's in there. And this is all dependent on how intensive your work is. Maybe you're in something that's going to take you an hour and a half to get done, but make sure you give yourself that break. Because, you need to get up, get moving, give your brain a break, especially if this is something that's brain intensive. So I recommend setting a timer to remind yourself to take that break. I have a Fitbit watch, so it reminds me every hour that like, hey, you need to get your steps in. And I'm like, oh, okay, Fitbit, let me go walk around my house. But yeah, those are my 5 tips for working from home. I know it can be difficult. I know it can be distracting. The whole point is to reduce those distractions, reduce the difficulty, by giving yourself your own workspace, creating a schedule, giving yourself regular breaks, turning off all those unnecessary dings and banners on your phone, which I started doing long before, like a long time ago. It's glorious not to feel like I have to respond to everything. Oh, there's comments. Can I see them? I think I can. Oh, hi, Casey. That's my boss. So yeah, remember you don't have to do everything immediately. Not everything's an emergency. And just work on it. Just continually learn and improve. There's lots of resources out there for you. But yeah, working from home sometimes is very distracting when you have cats running around. I have two in here right now. I just couldn't get them out when I was going live. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope these tips helped you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.